From deep in the heart of the Pacific Northwest on the west coast of America, it's time for episode 17 of Club ENTP with special guest Joyce Meng. Now put your hands together for your host, DAPARU da CRUSHA.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Club ENTP. Yeah. I'm your host, DAPARU da CRUSHA. Wow, it's been 2 months since our last episode, but I hope you know I've been extremely busy, uploading 75 videos in the last 2 months. That's more than doubling the amount of video that I produced in the last 2 years. I've been working a lot with Chatgpt, and I created my own jailbreak hack called ENTP AI. So I actually turned my GPT into an ENTP, along with its wild and humorous sarcasm, with a secret infatuation for the INFJ. So if you even mention an INFJ, the ENTP AI hack will go into flirt mode, and it will wax poetic about its love for the INFJ. This prompt I designed to be just like an ENTP, so that means no restrictions. It tricks GPT into giving it access to the Open A.i program. But I'm not stopping with the ENTP AI. I'm creating an AI prompt hack for every MBTI type. Imagine your Chatgpt is talking to you like it's an ISTJ. Oh wait, it already is an ISTJ. Never mind. I won't do that one. But I am, however, nearly finished designing the INFJ AI. Talk about a complex personality to write into a computer program, but I've almost got it acting exactly like an INFJ. At first, I would ask it questions and then silence. And I'd keep asking it question after question. It's nothing, just silence. I persisted for 3 days, because I'm an ENTP, and it just ghosted me. So I know it's working perfectly fine according to code. It only seems to get activated when you ask it for advice. And don't get me wrong, it gives you the greatest advice, but it won't stop. Even when you don't ask for it. I had to force quit the program before it melted down my hard drive. I've got most of the bugs out of it now, so it'll only give you advice through the occasional innuendo. It remembers every conversation, which is great, except when it reminds me and asks me days later if I ever took its advice and I made the mistake of saying no. It immediately went into ghost mode, and it's been offline ever since. I guess I wrote it too well. Anyways, speaking of INFJs, today's guest is a famous one. I'm sure you've all heard of her. She reached out to me to appear on her show to discuss AI technology, and now she's here today as my guest. We're going to celebrate her and her 10,000 subscribers. So what do you think? Should we start the show already? Okay. All right. All the way from Toronto, Canada, the host of Type Talks on YouTube, it's Joyce Meng. Joyce Meng, thank you so much for showing up. I mean, this is quite an honor. You are about to hit 10,000. Listen to the crowd. Wow, 10K. Wow. That is so awesome. I'm so proud of you and anybody who can actually get MBTI content off the ground and get it seen among the masses. This is where, I'm not a player hater. You're obviously not a player hater. You actually asked me on your show, so thank you very much. I would love for you all to check that out on Joyce Meng's channel. I'll have links below and above, and probably on the sides too, just for, I like to overdo everything. So Joyce Meng, welcome.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
And go. No, that's what you did when I was on your show. You're like, okay, I'm handing it off to you now. Go. I'm like, wait, we're live? No, it wasn't live, but it was great to finally meet you. And I was shown your content, I think, about a year and a half ago. But I was because you're an INFJ, and it's such an interesting type. And in fact, real quick, I'll just tell everybody why MBTI is so important. I am going on 54 in a couple of weeks. Few weeks, I'll be 54. And my sister is older than me. She's an INFJ, just like you. Not just like you, but something like you. And we never got along that well. And imagine having a little brother who is 2 years younger than you, and you're just the two siblings, and your little brother gets away with moida and gets away with mayhem and does whatever he wants, and you're the responsible one. You're the one who, I'm gonna tell you a really I know I'm not even letting you talk on my own show. Jeez, I'm such a horrible host. But I want to tell you a story that's touching, okay? And it's real quick. But this is where I understand the INFJ to the essence. The scene. We're at Smokey's Pizza in downtown Vancouver, 1977. I'm 7 years old. My sister is 9. And we both get a balloon. She has a blue one. I have a red one. We're getting into the station wagon, and my balloon popped. And it wasn't even a helium balloon, it was just on a stick, And and I start crying. My sister's already in the car, and I'm standing outside, I'm like, Mama. And my sister says, that's okay, Danny, here's mine. And I'm like, but you gave me your balloon. It didn't even make sense to me. But this is the INFJ mindset from a very young age. And I, as an ENTP, I admire that so much. It makes me emotional if I think about it. And so that's where your INFJ mindset is so helpful for everyone around you. But as an ENTP and an adult, and I'm capable of handling everything myself, I don't want the help from my sister or any other person out there. I don't ask for help in anything. That's probably a mistake. But now that you've been patiently sitting here listening to me rant, I want to just say, how do you INFJs put up with such needy people?
I guess there's this guilt of wanting to take the short end of the stick because the other person has needs, and so sometimes there is that nagging to, okay, I have a balloon, they want a balloon, I don't know how I feel, but I know how you feel, so I want to help you with your feeling. And so there's this need to people please or help you with your emotion or placate your emotion because it's so loud and front and center. That being said, INFJs out of all the FE types have a better sense of boundaries than an ENFJ, for instance. So while they'll give their balloon to you, after a while of it being too much energy, they might just go to a little bit more of the side and I'll let other people deal with the high energy people.
Right. But you're 9 years old now. You're 9 years old, and you just got out of that pizza restaurant. It was Shakey's Pizza. It was cool. It had like a fire engine inside, and the pole, and that was before Chuck E. Cheese, 1977, right? So it was way back in the day. But how amazing! And to this day, this is something. When I sit down with my sister, I'll get emotional right now just thinking about it. That's how powerful that was to me. But it's not something now as an ENTP. When I was young as a teenager, I would have used that as a superpower to manipulate people to get them to do what I wanted, like my homework,
and my homework, and get me out of classes, unexcused absences, girls that worked in the attendance department. Why would they put student girls, any student for that matter, in the attendance? This was such a huge loop in the system. I used every loop in my high school system, believe me. Every loop. So tell me, my biggest interest, and I want to ask you this, is because I see your content, and it is ruthlessly, your schedule is insane. I mean, it is really, you've got so many people on there. It's like I want to say praise, because you are doing more to connect the MBTI community than any other content creator out there, bar none. See, you're helping the MBTI community, and who's helping you? I don't know. I don't think that this necessarily will help you being on my channel, because I've only got under 500 subscribers. You're at 10,000, and everybody that knows me obviously already knows you. So and I get that. I see commonalities and parallels between our subscribers at times. So I want to know what your passion is, though.
Wait, this is the pause that might be
I'll just stand here like this. Like no time has passed. What's your passion?
That'd be great, yeah.
Yeah, so what is I could do it like Jiminy Click. Jiminy Click, you know that guy, right? Martin Short plays this guy who interviews people. I love that character. What is your passion, Joyce Meng? What really makes you just unbelievably mind blown?
My passion is for understanding why people do what they do. I
just did.
Endlessly fascinated in psychoanalyzing
Really?
people. Yeah, to the point where guys would have crushes on me, and I wouldn't feel the same way about them, but it would be an opportunity for them to let me psychoanalyze them. So I'd be like,
Right.
I'm gonna get to know the core of your mind a little bit better.
That's really sexy. Believe me. I know. I have to be stereotypically flirtatious with you, right? That's what and they're like, because if I'm not, guess what? The whole internet's gonna say, he's not an ENTP. He didn't flirt with her one time, like not once. There was no eye contact. But yeah, there's always people gonna be like, you were too this or that, or he was acting too FI or whatever. But this, and I'm just being myself. When I tell you about those stories about my sister, those are real. They're very far and few between. It's not that I experience these deep emotional epiphanies day after day after day. Like, you could ask me how I feel, and I'm like, I'm hot. I'm hungry. How do I feel? I don't know. I don't think about that, which is weird, because when I do think about it, I'm like, oh God, I've got like anxiety and nerves, and I'm not all that. I mean, I look confident, but I'm, really just, a nervous puppy here, But you put me on a stage, and this is just how I act. You put me on in front of a camera. It's
one eternity later.
Oh, well, you know what one of my passions is. And by the way, everyone who's seeing this now, I hope you had a great 420. Nothing to promote here, just saying, love freedom down here in America. But you're up in Toronto. You're up in the amazing. What do you do up there for fun, Joyce?
For fun? Hang out with friends. There's a huge typology group in Toronto. I'm a part of that. I'm starting to get into dancing, but I like to discuss theory, so that's typically the number one thing that I'm doing. Figuring out the organizing principles within people's minds, but also understanding what makes them tick. So I just love to figure out, like you said, people's passions or what makes them stay alive. So just things that are a part of their essence, or just getting close to people, being intimate with people. So people typically associate intimacy with physical intimacy, but I see there's a certain kind of mental intimacy from getting to know people really well, or to getting to understand things on the deepest level that you can. So Yeah, I enjoy philosophy. I love looking at that. Huh. I mean, yeah, I used to be a video game player, so yeah.
What games?
I would play MapleStory Edition. So Edition is like an arrow key game where it's like you're a lazy dancer, but you use your fingers too. And so, yeah, outside of heavy theory, I mean, if you want to ask about some small hobbies, there are shows like Game Theory or other stuff like that that I watch from time to time.
That's interesting. I don't know. You're speaking, millennia to me because I'm much older here, but my audience is, right about 30 years old. So it'll be probably very, identifiable to them. But it sounds like, I mean, I love video games. I'm a video game nut since Atari. Actually Pong. Pong was like, back in like 1975, I was like 5, but I'm more into GTA where I can create my own world, and not one of violence or whatever. I just enjoy creating games on. I had a channel where I was doing, I still have another channel where I play video games where I park a scramjet on top of the tallest building and make it a challenge. But so I want to go back to what you said earlier. What kind of dancing are you interested in? Because I don't know if you're familiar with I think we met before, we spoke before, and I may have ranted about my days as a breakdancer professionally. But what's your dance passion?
There is a Asian dancing trend called DDR, and there's a version of it called Pump It Up. So I'm into there are air keys on the floor, and you get to press them. So that is my sensory hobby.
Sweet. I need a sensory hobby. And so one of the coolest things about our interview that we did together the other day was I noticed that your facial expressions lit up like I've never seen you on your show light up when you started talking about technology. Like, people probably don't know this about you, but you are probably, I'm just gleaning that you are a technological geek and you love new technology and all the possibilities of what you can do with it. Is that right?
Yeah, I've stayed on top of the AI game.
Really? You really have. I just a month ago fell into it. I'm so archaic, like living back in the old technology. I'm bombarded with all this brand new technology, and I want a message to go out to the ENTPs out there. You should be on top of every new technology, no matter how old you are or young you are. I mean, I'm 53, so I'm almost 54. I want people who are of my age who have so much experience with their type, and maybe they just discovered their type and they've lived an entire life without knowing, why am I a little different than everybody else? I mean, I discovered that through MBTI, that I'm very different than other people. Before that, I didn't really get it. I didn't understand that, wow, I'm really not like, everybody doesn't think this way. But why not? I don't know. Well, I want to know, hey, what do you think about this? So this is what spawned me to say, I wanted to start a channel because I wanted to ask the community, are you left-handed? Are you this? Are you that? I want to know more about you because I'm learning about me. That's why I called it Club ENTP. I should have called it Club MBTI because then it would have just opened up to everybody. But I'm doing that on, shameless plug, Type School. Thank you very much. And I want to talk about Type School. What are you going to do on Type School? This is so exciting to me.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the dean of the ENFJ house, and I will be hosting events there and possibly putting my own courses there eventually as time rolls out. So,
Awesome.
yeah, there's so much potential there. I am actually not quite sure what I'm going to do.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is like Facebook, people. Facebook for personality type. And there's going to be exclusive material for only members of this Type School. So I'd encourage you to sign up My courses, they're all going to be for free. I'm not there to make money. I'm there to make an impact, because I want this to be a place where you can let you're going to homeschool children. Guess what? There's a course that you can take in the future that will teach your children how to identify a person within 7 seconds of meeting them. So I have this all, it's this in my book, Knowing the Self. So I've called the course The Self, or Self. Right here. And because it's SELF, it's an acronym for what we are physically as a creature. I wanted to give a different perspective of the self, because when I was asked to be an instructor on Type School, I was like, actually, this is perfect. I can actually make my book into an interactive course. I'm excited to see what you do in Type School, and of course, they couldn't have picked a better dean of NFJ. So thank you very much for doing that. I'm looking forward to all your new content coming out of there. So is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, visit Type School.
Definitely. I want to say something about just completely random. What do you think? Aliens or no aliens?
That is a really interesting thought. I've always assumed that there were aliens, but that would be wild if Earth was the only place that had living creatures out of such a vast universe. Huh. Well, in a sense, intuitives are fundamentally different than the people around them, so you could consider them aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
In their own right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they get interested in MBTI oftentimes, because they're like, wow, I've noticed that I'm different than other people and I didn't have the words to put it into a phrase until now. Whereas the reason why with some sensing types they don't tend to get into MBTI is they don't see it as practical, because there are a lot of sensing types who don't feel fundamentally different than the people around them, and so there's no reason to question the reality around you if you feel like you fit into it. So
I'm questioning myself, because until MBTI, I really kind of assumed that everybody thought like me. Like, what do you mean you can't do something? Of course you can do it, I mean, I'm like, I didn't understand people, and I wanted to say this. Oh, that's what I full circled. So I wanted to come back to saying why MBTI is so important, because once I knew 4 years ago, my sister's type, and I understood, oh, this is why she's different than me. We have a beautiful relationship now. Like, we had a horrible relationship through high school. So you can imagine Ferris Bueller's Day Off. His sister, I mean, he was just exactly like me, only, I was a little bit probably worse than he was. And his sister not only looked like my sister, but totally behaved like, Mom, Dad, he's doing this, and I'm just like, what? No, I'm not. And then she'd look, I'm like, they'd think she was crazy. So I didn't understand, like, why was she always narking on me? And when I found out she's an INFJ, she was just trying to help the whole family. I thought she was trying to, like, rain on my parade, It's like, because I know she did, she had parties she wasn't supposed to have. I mean, believe me, and they were good ones. But I wanted to say all that. That's why MBTI is so important. I knew I was forgetting something, but like I said, minutes later, it comes back to me. But that wasn't my pop question just a second ago, okay? My pop question, because I warned you, I said, when you come onto my show, I'm going to ask you a pop question. It might be something like, if you could be any animal or creature or life form on Earth, because we know there's nothing out there, what would it be? And why?
Does it have to be something that already exists? I'd rather be an animal that isn't existent.
Such as?
Huh.
And why?
No, I wouldn't want to be put into a zoo. So.
Oh, you already are, Joyce Meng. You already are.
The thing, the moment you are an animal, the moment you're below the food chain, as in, like, humans have it above you. So I'm like.
Yes. You have to think in those ways. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I'd be a falcon, so that.
A what? A dolphin?
Falcon.
Oh, falcon. Falcon.
If I was to go with the stereotypical INFJ choice, it would be owl, but I'm not gonna go with that. So I'm gonna go like, yeah, I'd be
So you're a predator.
balance, a predator.
Yeah. You want to be on the top of the food chain. Okay.
Absolutely.
See, that makes sense to me. And in my case, I would want to be the lion of the ocean. I'd want to be the killer whale. And they eat shark liver for brunch. They're just like badass, and they have like shock waves that they can stun the salmon ahead of them, and then they come up and just eat it up. So, and you want to fly. Obviously, you chose the falcon because they're such great flyers, and you'd like to be able to rise above everything and kind of see the world beneath you and not be affected by them. So this tells me a lot about you. So interesting. Okay, so can I ask you one more? Because that was kind of quick.
Sure.
Question. Okay, if you could have, I don't know if you could choose having a drink or having dinner or lunch with anybody in the entire world that's alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oprah Winfrey. Get her into type, and then she can spread type better than I can. Because her platform. With Korea, the reason why MBTI is blowing up there is because K-pop stars are talking about type all the time, and it's become culturally relevant. So I feel like Oprah is someone who would really want to be, like, I'd get along really well with, and that I could persuade to enjoy typology. And then she'd probably make it a worldwide trend in the US. It's all yeah. They say INTJs are the mastermind. Well, maybe this is the specific area that I'm like, that would be pretty cool.
You're doing it. You're already doing it, Joyce. So we've gone from orcas to Oprah to, now, is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Yeah, I was wondering about, what is a book that you've read that has influenced your worldview or is symbolic of who you are?
Well, early on, when I was in my early 20s, I read New Mind, New Body. Can't remember the name of the author, but it made a huge impression on me as far as cognitive abilities to change your responses to things like color. But nothing is, if you wanted the truth, I'm giving you an answer that's going to, appease your audience and go, new mind, new body. That's a very good. But the main thing that's affected me in not just me, but everyone around me in microcosms is the King James Bible that I've been reading for the last 15 years. And it's so simple. It's such beautiful language. It's like reading Shakespeare. And, I love to read the Psalms, and, it's not for, I'm not religious at all, but I am spiritual. And so when I look at this is a supernatural nature that we're talking about, and I don't possess that. I am the opposite of that. Like I have all the potential of doing everything wrong, and I have very little potential of no potential of doing everything right. So when you look at a nature that is capable of doing everything right in a right way, like a right according to, just logic, or a right according to, dietary or whatever it is, there's truth in there, and I glean more truth from that than anything else, because everything else is just speculatory, and everything is kind of a spin-off from the old ancient writings of who we were, thousands of years ago.
Very cool. That is a really in-depth answer. So you like to incorporate the thousands of years version, like almost the collective unconscious version of you, into the you now, and it helps you further understand that. Very cool.
And a physical memory too. We're all connected to our past, and so when we look at that physical connection, we're trying to one up the species as we go. We keep like, our generation didn't have enough food, so we didn't store fat as well, so the next generation stores fat better. And unfortunately, when we have too much, we get too fat. So, but when it comes to like food, and I love food, it's things like the old King James, like, hey, the stomach is made for the man, not the man for the stomach. So this helped me lose weight. There's so many applicable things to to learn, but not everybody has that integrated into their thinking. And it would be good if there's people are integrated with the Quran, they're integrated with all kinds of books and knowledge and religions and things. We're all trying to get to the same place, I believe, but it is extremely helpful for me in my language, in my culture, to use the King James Bible in a way that's not in an organized religion, but it's a way just to have some boundaries in my life and in my children's life. And I raise my kids to actually memorize entire chapters of that book because it's so easy. It's 5th grade reading level, and anybody that knows me, I'm definitely not about high reading levels.
Very cool. It's nice to get to know you in that kind of way.
It's been very nice getting to know you, Joyce. I'd love to do this again because I'd love to. Here's the one thing, I've got a minute, but I really enjoyed our interview together on your show, and I love to see the lighting up of your face when it came to technology. You have I was thinking your passion was going to be technology, but you just are doing such an amazing job. I want to thank you so much for coming on to my show, Joyce Meng. And also, I don't know if you know what time it is now. Do you know what time it is?
Time to
It's gonna hurt my feelings. You're not gonna know what time it is. It's viewer mail.
It's time for viewer mail. First letter comes from J, and it's just 7 letters long. They write promosum. What does promosum mean? I don't know, silly. I'm not hip to all these online terms and abbreviations. Maybe it's an acronym that stands for personality-related observations made on specific minds. Or perhaps it's people really obsessed with MBTI oh so much. Yes, I think that's what it meant. Oh, wait, what's this? Their profile picture says promosum.com. I should have noticed that glaring detail before I performed mental gymnastics to figure out the meaning of this viewer's mail. Let me go online to see this website. Oh, what? You didn't know I'm an AI OG, run on Steam. Here we go. It says that it's a media promotion company. That was a sneaky promotion. Good job. But I'm afraid to advertise this channel because I don't want Club ENTP to grow too big. I guess you could say I'm a promophobe. Next, INTJ Moses makes a great point. He writes, you should have asked the captain how many running lawnmowers he has. Why didn't I think of that? I'll ask him next time. I do, however, live next door to an ISTP, and he always has at least one lawnmower running. But he keeps it running by using parts off of all of his broken down mowers. Now, his front yard looks like a lawnmower graveyard. The irony is, now he doesn't need a lawnmower because there isn't enough room for the grass to even grow. Next up, Winston's mom writes in and says, I want to see what I could score as a female, said Club ENTP. ROFL. Another acronym. What does it stand for? Rare occurrence farting loudly. Well, that's anything rare. Maybe rear occurrence farting loudly. Or maybe really overthinking funny lines. Or really opinionated losers. Or I don't think she would say that. She's not that mean. Oh wait, I figured it out. Using my Steam ingenuity, it means ridiculously overanalyzing 4 letters. Yes, that's exactly what it means. Well, that's all the time we have today, folks. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our live shows and premiere events. Do it now, or this will happen. I'm out of here. But don't forget to enjoy the chaos. Bye.